2020 brought the biggest blow to the tourism industry worldwide that we have ever witnessed. For the past few decades, we've been spoiled. We've had the opportunity to travel far away from our homelands, to climb mountains, to visit desert islands, to trek through jungles. And almost overnight, it was gone. Fast forward a year and a half and most of us still haven't seen our families. We still haven't had our holiday. We still haven't been on our honeymoon. We still haven't had the chance to show our young children the beauty of this world. And this has resulted in the rise of revenge tourism. Revenge tourism is one of the newest and perhaps most controversial types of tourism. The concept of revenge travel first emerged in 2020, when the travel and tourism industry was all but devastated as a result of the COVID pandemic. The pandemic resulted in the closure of the majority of travel and tourism businesses. Borders were closed around the world, and repeated lockdowns and quarantine requirements meant that people had very little opportunity to travel. Whilst the situation is improving in some parts of the world, in other parts, it's not. Whilst some of my favourite travel vloggers and Instagrammers are hopping between islands in Greece and taking hot air balloon rides in Cappadocia in Turkey, or exploring the desert areas in the United Arab Emirates, other people are still staying put, particularly in Asia and Australasia. People from all over the world were angry, people were frustrated, and people had itchy feet. The desire to travel comes naturally to the human population. For some people, travelling is going home to the motherland to visit your grandparents. For other people, it's having the chance to get some sunshine and lie on that beach. And for some people, it's exploring, climbing mountains, going on adventures. But whatever travel is to you, to me, to all of us, it largely hasn't been there during the COVID pandemic. Now, whilst different destinations are opening up the possibilities to travel again at different speeds around the world, there is one thing that a lot of people share in common: the need for revenge. So why has revenge travel emerged? Well, it's a direct response to being locked up for so long. We want to get out there, we want to see the world that we haven't been allowed to see for such a long time. We want to make up for lost time. People want to take the honeymoon that they haven't been able to take. People want to see their relatives that they haven't seen in years, probably. People want to take that well-needed break. And as the travel and tourism industry does start to open up again, people want revenge. Now, as always, the media have jumped on the bandwagon with this phrase, revenge travel or revenge tourism. An article in The Guardian claims that China have been promoting revenge travel to boost their economy after repeated COVID lockdowns. And in other reports, the tourism industry experts in India are saying that people are on revenge travel mode after being confined in their homes for so many months. This phrase has also been used by politicians who have expressed concerns that revenge tourism may spark future waves of COVID. Lots of people have claimed that travel will be back with a bang. We all want to go on holiday. We've got a lot of lost time to make up for. There are all the people who couldn't go backpacking for the past 2 years. There are all the people who didn't have those honeymoons, those baby moons, those holidays. There are all the people who want to see their friends and family. There are all the people who just want a holiday. And potentially, once it's safe to do so and we are allowed to do so, people are going to be travelling to these places en masse. Now, I don't think this will quite be the bang that perhaps it could have been, because in different parts of the world, the opening up is happening at different speeds. Nevertheless, there is the possibility of a big influx of tourists over the next couple of years. But why is it called revenge tourism? Well, revenge tourism has, in a sense, become a new buzzword. It's a bit of a strange term, really, because when we think of the word tourism or holiday or vacation, we generally have happy thoughts. But when we think of the word revenge, it's not usually happy. It's usually the opposite of happy. So to bring those two words together seems quite a strange mix. Nonetheless, this is the term that is being used right now. So what does it mean? It's not entirely clear who came up with the term revenge tourism, but it is thought that the term perhaps originates from China, who first used the term revenge travel in the 1980s. It was during this time that Chinese citizens gained more freedom to move inside and outside of their country. Some people have likened this to the travel restrictions associated with COVID, where we haven't been able to travel within or outside of our country for a long period of time. As a result, the term revenge tourism has been adopted internationally and it is now used around the world. In fact, some companies are using the phrase as a sort of marketing tool to attract businesses and customers. However, other people are trying to move away from this term because the word revenge doesn't really give us good associations, and travel should be positive and happy. And we should see the rebirth or the regrowth of the travel and tourism industry as a happy time. So is revenge tourism here to stay? Well, in my opinion, no, because we're not going to want revenge forever, but certainly for the next couple of years as we slowly come out of this pandemic and we learn to live with this virus, people are going to be seeking the holidays and the travels that they weren't able to do for the past couple of years. So in the short term, yes, I really think revenge tourism is going to be here to stay, but in the long time, no. So where will people go for revenge tourism? Well, initially people have been travelling domestically within their own country, but for a lot of people, this just doesn't quite hit the spot. I mean, a trip to Scotland, where it's generally raining and cold, probably doesn't compare to lying on the beach in the Maldives, for example. So there are suggestions that we will see an increase in independent travel in the near future and a decrease in group travel. And this is because we don't want to travel in big groups. We want to ensure a little bit of social distancing, etc. There have also been predictions that the travel and tourism industry will attract more high spenders. More people will be looking for luxury holidays because for 2 years we haven't been on a holiday, we've been saving up and we can spend a bit more. A lot of people have also realised the importance of caring for our environment and of sustainability. So there's also likely to be an increase in sustainable tourism type holidays. So perhaps going to an eco-lodge or going and staying in the jungle, things like that have a minimal negative environmental impact. And as society, even before COVID happened, we have been moving away from the traditional sort of sun, sea and sand holiday, and consumer preferences have changed and we've been looking for things that are a bit more different. So it's likely we will see more people booking holidays that fall within the niche tourism category. So perhaps taking a diving holiday, going gorilla trekking, embracing slow tourism, volunteer tourism, things like this. So what are the positive impacts of revenge tourism? Well, revenge tourism can be seen as positive because it will bring back tourism. There are people all around the world who have suffered at the hands of the COVID pandemic, not because of the health implications, but because of the economic implications that have been caused by the way that travel and tourism has been almost entirely stopped in some areas. There are people who haven't been able to feed their children. There are people who haven't been able to pay their bills and put a roof over their head. But when tourists come back, that can all change, and that's a really, really good thing. And also, revenge tourism is good because we get to go on holiday again, we get to travel again. It's good for our well-being, it's good for our mental health, it's good to have that break. And what are the negative impacts of revenge tourism? One of the biggest problems is that we might have lots and lots of tourists all trying to travel to the same place at the same time. Now this can result in over-tourism, which has lots of negative impacts, particularly in terms of damaging the environment and of upsetting the local people and the social implications that that can bring with it. If anything, I would like to think that we would learn lessons from what we did wrong before. The tourism industry offered a lot of great things, and people throughout the world have wonderful memories of their travel and tourism experiences. But the industry hasn't been kind to the environment, and we have done some things wrong. We've had the chance to reflect and to revisit the way we do things, and in many cases we are now building our tourism industries up from the ground once again. So we really have the opportunity here to make a difference. We have the opportunity to do it right this time, to learn from our mistakes, and I really, really hope that we do. Revenge tourism is a A bit of a strange term, but the underlying factor is that travel and tourism is coming back, and that's a great thing on so many different levels. What do you think about it all? Do you want revenge? Should we want revenge? Is revenge the right word to use? Let me know in the comments below.